Hi, my name is Devin Wright, and once again with me, Gilbert Enriquez. He's running for mayor of the city of Edinburg. Gil, good to see you.
Thank you, Devin.
Now, I was going to say, once again, a Q&A with, but this isn't, I decided to go a little bit different direction because we've talked about the lights, the pipes, the taxes, you know, controversies, we've heard your plans, we've heard all the strategies, and on a personal level, it does make a lot of sense to me. Um, you know, what I want to talk about today is who is Gilbert Enriquez. Now, I don't think it's any secret from watching these videos that you and I have been lifelong friends.
Right.
I met you in the sixth grade and admittedly couldn't stand you. You were, I found you to be overly confident, and, you had a beautiful girlfriend who is now your beautiful wife.
Right.
And I didn't have a beautiful girlfriend, and I'm so much better looking that I felt like I was getting shortchanged.
Right.
But over the years, you're one of my dearest friends on earth, and you only get a handful in life.
Right.
You only get a handful of friends, and I can say that you have helped me through personal hardships, and you were in those personal hardships. You were always my very first phone call, and I just want to say I really appreciate your counsel and your advice on those personal hardships. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, you're welcome.
So, you were saying in one of the Q&As, that sometimes people find you to be a little unapproachable,
Right.
For whatever reason.
Right.
And so the direction that I wanted to go, Gil, was I wanted people to learn about you, what I know about you in 30 minutes, which is impossible when you have a lifelong friend, but as close to learning what I know about you, through that camera. And so what I want to ask is, let's start with your upbringing. Talk to me about your childhood, your parents. Where does Gilbert Enriquez come from? Who is he?
Right. Well, as you know, because we've been lifelong friends, I have trouble talking about myself. I just, that's not the type of guy I am.
Not on the basketball court.
Well, not on the basketball court, but again, that's my confidence there.
Right.
But in terms of me, I'm just your average guy. I was raised by my mom and my dad. I have eight brothers and sisters. And I'm the youngest of the family. So I saw all my brothers and sisters grow up, make mistakes, do good, and so you learn from those things, and when you're the youngest, you see all the trials and tribulations in a family.
Yeah.
You see all the good and you see all the bad, and the one thing that I've learned throughout the whole time that I was being raised by my parents is, be humble, be compassionate, have empathy, work hard. Those are the values that my parents instilled in me. My dad, had a third grade education. He worked since he was 10 years old. 7 years old, working in the fields.
Oh, okay.
Working in the fields. Helping his parents earn a decent living. My mom, same thing, sixth grade education. She had to work in the fields. She had to clean homes, at an early age. So my parents grew up, hard. I mean, they grew up working hard. They grew up in the valley, and they worked hard. They worked hard for everything that they received in life. And so my parents met. My mom, my dad was 18, I believe. My mom was 16. They got married. They would go to Ohio and pick strawberries and other stuff, cotton. So they would travel to different parts, north, to the north. And some of my brothers and sisters also had to go and travel and pick berries and cotton and whatever else it was up there. I didn't have to do it. I was, again, the youngest of nine. So I never had to experience those things. But of course, I heard the stories and I heard everything about it. And so that just puts everything into perspective, right? Me growing up, that, you got to work hard in order to achieve things, right? In order to be successful, you got to work hard, and you got to have opportunities. My dad started working for a company at an early age, 18. He was working in construction, and he worked himself. Through the ranks, and there was a time when someone saw the potential in my dad, saw the things that he could do, and gave him an opportunity. And my dad took that opportunity and ran with it, and I always say, as long as we give people an opportunity, what they do with it, it's up to them. I mean, they could take it and run with it and become the most successful person, or they don't take the opportunity and they're back at square one, but it's up to that individual. And fortunately for us and our family, my dad took that opportunity and he became a successful story. I mean, he built a company. He started his own construction company, built it from him being the only guy, him and a helper, working with his hands, doing the work himself, doing the payroll, doing the bills, doing the actual work. He started out doing insulation, homes, putting insulation in the walls. He did all that on his own. My mom would help him too. My brothers would help him, during the summers or on the weekends. So my family, my brothers and sisters, they worked hard. They helped the family. They did as much as they could. So when I was born, I didn't have to do those things. I mean, I grew up, already where my dad had his company, and it was thriving. My brothers and sisters were working there. So I didn't have to do the things they did. I was privileged in that sense. And then my mom, bless her heart, man, she's the best, man. She really is. She's the one that holds our family together. She's the one that has that compassion, that empathy. She's the one that instilled that in those values into us. My dad, he instilled the hard work and the dedication and the toughness and say the truth. A handshake is your word, is your bond. Never cheat, never lie, that type of thing. And my mom, she was the other side. She was the one that had the compassion, the empathy, she taking care of people.
Eight brothers and sisters, not an easy job.
Yeah, I mean, she took care of the household. I mean, she stayed home and she took care of us. I was a mama's boy. My mom was everything to me. I didn't go away to college. I was at St. Mary's and I was gonna stay there and go to college, earn my degree.
Where, in San Antonio?
In San Antonio,
Yeah.
and I was there in the dorm, and I came back home because I miss my mom so much, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
No.
I tell people that all the time. I was homesick. I didn't want to leave my mom, and I came back, and it was the best decision. I don't regret it at all. I don't regret that decision at all. And so my mom started her daycare back in the 90s, and to this day it's still going. My sister helps her run it. My sister runs it, and so my mom always had this passion to take care of kids.
Nurture.
Nurturing, right. And so, she started as a home provider where she would take care of, 3 to 6 kids at our house, and then she grew to a daycare, grandma's daycare. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the people that are going to see this will remember grandma's daycare, because a lot of them a lot of them attended the daycare, and now their kids are attending the daycare.
Yeah, interesting.
So yeah, and it's great. It's great to when I go out and people see me and they say, your mom was so great to me. I grew up there. She took good care of me, and now she's taking care of my kids. And I mean, that's just a great feeling, when people appreciate your mom for doing stuff like that. And so she grew her company into a daycare that had 100 kids. So that takes a lot of hard work. That takes a lot of dedication. That takes a lot of love and sacrifice, right? And my mom never did it for the money. Never. To this day, she doesn't do it for the money. She does it because that's what she loves to do. That's what she's all about. And anyone that has gone through there knows exactly what I'm saying. And so my parents, thank God, they're still with us. My dad's 84, my mom's 82. They're in good health. We're just so fortunate that we still have them, and we cherish every day that they're here. It's a lot different than when they were younger, right? Now we're helping and taking care of them.
Yeah.
My brothers help a lot with that. My sisters help a lot with that. So it's good that there's 9 of us, and the majority of us are here in the Valley. So we live close.
And they have husbands and wives now. So
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So your parents don't want for much these days. Yeah.
Right. I mean, we have a big family.
Yeah.
They have, I would say, shoot, I lost count. They probably have about 100 grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
we have a huge family, immediate family. And I'm talking immediate, brothers and sisters, and nieces and nephews. I mean, our family is huge. And family is important to us, to the Enriquez family. I mean, we're a close group of kids. I'm a little farther apart than my brothers and sisters because age-wise, and only because I was the mistake. I wasn't supposed to happen. all my brothers and sisters, all 8 of them, are about a year and a half apart.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's only 6 years apart from my sister to myself. And so I was the mistake. I wasn't supposed to happen. And so that's important for everyone to know that I was the mistake in the family. But growing up was good. I never had to struggle like my brothers and sisters did. And that was due to my dad and my mom, that they provided for us. They provided for every single one of them. They made sure that we were loved. They made sure we were taken care of. They made sure that we had the things that we needed to succeed. And I can't thank them enough. I mean, they really sacrificed a lot for us, and I can't be more appreciative than that.
Well, it sounds like the real, American dream, and not because of the necessarily the success of the construction company or the daycare. That's a secondary, right? So you can look at that and say, well, there's the American dream right there because it comes in the form of dollars. But the real American dream is just, having raised that many children, and now you have a family of over 100, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, grandkids, and great-grandchildren. I mean, it's really it really speaks to your parents, and it helps me understand a little bit more about you. Though I knew some of the story, probably not that in depth.
Right.
But I can vouch for your dad's instilling hard work in you, because I remember I would say, "Hey, Gil, let's skip 6th period and go to Mexico."
Yeah.
To which you would say, "I can't, I have class."
Right.
And to which I would say, "But it's just algebra. Let's get out of here."
Yeah.
And you never did.
Oh,
So
no.
yeah, it's like, man, Gil's just not going to cut loose.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, that definitely wasn't something that I would do, or that my dad would appreciate, or my mom would
Right,
appreciate.
yeah.
Right.
yeah. Well, let's talk about your family in terms of your beautiful wife and your children.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about them a little bit. Let's talk about where and how you met Deanna.
Well, I mean that was back in seventh grade.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. The seventh grade, middle school, South Middle School. You know, you we I didn't know her. I didn't know her then in sixth grade, but because that in sixth grade, I believe we were. Well, no, we were at South, right? We were at
Yeah.
South.
Yeah. South.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So seventh grade came around. I knew her cousin. I was friends with her cousin, and it just so happened that I saw her, and I told her, my friend who was her cousin, that hey, I want to meet your cousin. I think she's pretty. I want to meet her.
Yeah.
So one thing led to another. I met her, and we talked. And back then you had landlines, right? So you would only talk on the phone for a certain amount of time. And her parents wouldn't allow the boys to call, and so it was strictly 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, at school during passing classes and stuff. But we met then. We dated for a while, for seventh and eighth grade, and then we stopped seeing each other during high school, and then we reconnected back in our senior year, I believe.
Yeah.
And so and then we got engaged after college, and then we got married after college, and we've been married for 25 years, and we have two beautiful kids. So I married my school sweetheart. I don't want to say high school sweetheart because I met her before. And so
yeah. It's hard to say junior high sweetheart. It's just not something you hear very often.
Although we did win our seventh grade Valentine's bow.
Yeah, Bo and Princess or something like
bow. I don't even know what it was called.
that. Yeah, no, so jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were the good old days, Deb.
Yeah, those are the good old days.
Good old days. Those are days that we can reminisce about, talk, but we've been married for 25 years. Again, we have two beautiful. I have a beautiful daughter and a handsome son. My son's in eighth grade. He's a basketball player. He loves basketball. I'm very involved in that. My daughter, she's in her second year at Baylor. She's
Wow.
She's pre-med, and so I wish her the best because that's very tough degree plan to be in. So she's excited. She's doing very well, even throughout this whole COVID thing. So she's been up there for the last 2 years, and of course my wife was a teacher. She worked for the school district in Edinburg, and now she works there with us at the company. But my wife was there to raise our kids. I mean, she gave up her dream of being a PA because she wanted to raise my daughter, and so she didn't feel like she was helping my daughter by going to PA school and doing that.
What's PA school?
Physician assistant.
Gotcha.
So she was in the program when our daughter was born, and she was going through the program, and she felt like she just wasn't being a part of my daughter growing up, and she was missing a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so she decided she didn't want that. She wanted to be there with her daughter and go through all the different things that happen in a child's life, and she wanted to be a part of everything that happened, and so she sacrificed, and she gave up what her dream was.
Like your mom.
Yeah, like my mom, and so she did that, and she was there, a stay-at-home mom, working hard, raising our daughter and our son, and she doesn't regret it at all. She's done a wonderful job raising our kids. I mean, she's exactly like my mom. She gives back. I mean, she gives everything to her kids, to her family. I mean, she's wonderful.
Yeah, she's a sweet lady.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean, you've known her just as long as I have.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm surrounded by. Those are the people that keep me grounded, keep me where I'm at, and
influence.
and influence, right? and make me the person that I am today, and so um, I can't thank them enough, because yeah, you can really get off tangent real quick, in anything, and my support system, my wife, my parents, my kids, my brothers and my sisters. I mean, they keep you grounded. They keep you, hey, you're just a regular guy like anybody else,
Yeah.
and I truly believe that. I mean, I'm not any better than anybody else. I truly believe about helping people, and and giving everyone an opportunity, and that was instilled by me, by my dad, and my mom, and so
One of
and
the things that you said to me in one of the I think maybe the second Q&A, you said, my family goes to school here. Has been to school here. My son, he goes to public school here. Now, you have the means to send him to a private school. I mean, why was there a reason for the public school?
oh,
Or
absolutely. I mean, that's where I went through. I went through the public school system, and the public school system did a great job for me and for us. I mean, you went through the public school system. I mean, the public school system is good if you
just as
provide
good?
if you provide the resources to our teachers, to our professionals. They're gonna do what's best for the student, and so there's no reason for me not to have my kids go up through the public school system. I mean, that is something that I did, and they did, and I received a great education. My daughter received a great education. My son is receiving a great education, and what they're learning in school right now in the public in Edinburg CISD,
Right.
uh, they're getting prepared for college, and my daughter was well prepared to enter college
Yeah.
because
Proof's in the pudding.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, she was well prepared.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of adjustment, but I mean, that's an adjustment by everybody, right? But she was prepared. And I think that's the job of all teachers, is to prepare the students for success, for that opportunity. And so I wouldn't change a thing. I would not even entertain moving my kids out to a private school or anything like that. That's just not who I am and who we are as a family.
So, mom from here, dad from here, your family, hundreds of brothers, sisters, nieces, nephew, grandchildren, all in the Edinburgh area. I'm sure some have moved,
Right.
yeah, moved away, but your influences were here. You were educated here in Edinburgh, Texas. This is obviously home.
Yeah,
That will never change.
absolutely. Edinburgh has always been my home.
Yeah.
Always been my home.
And so it doesn't take too much to connect the dots as to being a public servant. If you love your community, can you talk a little bit more about, because obviously Edinburgh, and its citizens mean a great deal to you. You've articulated that, I think very well, in my opinion. And so, can you talk to us a little bit about being a public servant and why it's so important? Because you could just rest on your laurels. You don't have to. This is, like we talked about last time, this is a non-paying job. Like, why are you doing this?
To give back to the community. I mean, that's all it is. It's giving back to the community that gave me so much. I mean, there was people before me that were elected officials giving back to the community, making Edinburgh to where it is today. So we could have those opportunities when we grew up. And it's the same philosophy here. I want to give back to the community so the generation behind us can have the opportunities to have that American dream, to be successful, to raise a family here, to feel safe here. That's what it's all about, giving back to the community that you were raised in. And so, I've always given back to my community. I don't expect anything in return. I'm about helping people. If someone comes and asks me for help, I'm going to help them. If I can help them, I'll give them the resources that they can get help with. But I will never turn somebody away. And I don't need people to know that about me. I do it because I want to. That's what I feel I need to do. That's part of my being, that's why I think I'm here, on this earth is to give back. And I tell my kids that all the time. You give back because you want to give back, because that's what's in your heart, not because of what you're going to get out of it, or how you're going to benefit, or self-interest, or no, because if that plays a part in why you're doing it, then you're doing it for all the wrong reasons, and you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't do it then if that's the reason. So I just feel that giving back is my duty as a citizen, as a successful individual. Give back to those people.
Yeah, Edinburg and the surrounding areas has been good to you. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
And so, and I told you when we were going to do this, Q&A, that's not a Q&A necessarily. I said, hey, listen, I want you to start talking a little bit more about Gilbert Enriquez, the person, and not the statistician. The guy who's got checks all the boxes, and, taxes and all this kind of stuff. And you're reluctant to do it. You said, I don't want to talk about myself. I'm not comfortable doing that. I don't want to do it. I appreciate you humoring me and doing this, for me. And so let's talk about, and I know you don't like doing this, but let's talk about some of maybe the public service organizations you've worked with. I know we've talked about the city council, but if you could just, humor me and give me a little bit of a resume of some of the things that, because we're saying the things, right? I'm a public servant. I do that, where can you point at and say, look, there it is?
Well, look, I was raised in Edinburg, and I grew up in the Parks and Rec, the boys club, and participated in all these extracurricular activities that I could growing up. Yeah. And I had coaches. I had people that would mentor me, that would guide me, and I mean, there was a lot of people in my life that got me to where I'm at today, right? That were involved. And so when I came back from San Antonio, from St. Mary's, and I decided that I was gonna attend a UTPA here in Edinburg, I decided that, what, I'm gonna give back. I'm gonna be a volunteer coach with the Parks and Rec, with the Boys and Girls Club, and really that's where my community service began. I was in college, and I was coaching Little League. I was coaching baseball. I was coaching football, and I was coaching tackle football in McAllen, because Edinburg at the time didn't have tackle football.
Right.
So I would coach baseball in Edinburg, and I would coach McAllen football, tackle football, and that's really where I got my sense of community service. Really participating in all that stuff, and I just fell in love with it. Fell in love is seeing the kids, light up when they made a great play, or they did something awesome, and coach so many different kids that are now married and have kids of their own, and they see me and they say, "Hey, coach, you remember me?"
That's awesome.
I mean, yeah, that fills your heart, And so it started when I was 18, 19. I think I was 19 when I first started coaching. And then, I did that every single year, and I didn't have any kids. I did it because I wanted to help. I wanted to give back. So I was coaching for every year, every single year for 20 years. I was doing it. And then my kids were born during that 20 years, and I started coaching my daughter, and I started coaching my son, and then you get a sense of a different perspective at that point, right?
Yeah.
And that's when you say, you know what, I'm not going to coach my kids. I'd rather coach other people's kids, not my kid. Just because you're a little harder, you
Yeah.
expect a little more.
Yeah, and it carries over at the dinner table.
Right.
Yeah.
You expect a little more out of your kids, and and so I decided at that point that, you know what, I'm hanging up my whistle,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna let someone else handle the my kids. And so again, those 20 years coaching uh, different sports throughout Edinburgh and other surrounding cities. And then I was involved in organizations, all different types. I was involved in the Vamos organization, the Boys and Girls Club. I sat on the board there. I was part of the Parks and Rec board. I'm currently, which is very near and dear to me, is the Make a Wish here in the Rio Grande Valley. I'm a board member currently. So I've had public service in all different aspects. I've been involved in a lot of different organizations, and I don't flaunt it. I don't go out there and tell people, because that's not who I am.
Yeah.
I do it because I want to do it, and not for any accolades or for any pats on the back or an ego trip or anything like that. I do it because I do it for them, for the organization. And I think that's the people that know me know that about me and respect that I don't, because I had a lot of people come and tell me, well, you should, say this, that you've done this, that you've done that. And I'm like, no, I don't need to do that. The people that I've helped, they know, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. No one else matters that they know what I've done. As long as I and the person that I've helped know, that's all I need. That's the gratification that I need.
And so now we're looking at doing something similar to the Boys and Girls Club on a larger scale with the city of Edinburgh. So you'll be impacting more people's lives, And I for one, I for one know that it's a great thing. I'm really happy that you're running. I'm happy to call you a friend. Where can people go to learn more about your candidacy?
Well, one, Dev, let me just say this before I say anything else. I appreciate you coming down, and every one of these Q&As coming down and having these discussions with me. You've been a friend for life, and all our times together, really appreciate it. I love your wife, and I hope to see you again soon. And I really appreciate you doing this because of me and our friendship, and it means the world to me. So I just want a sincere thank you.
Anytime, bro.
All right, and again, if you would like to learn more about me and my platform and my plan for the city of Edinburgh, please log on to gilbertenriquez.com or our Facebook page. You can see everything, all the videos, all our messages, everything that will help you make an educated decision on me, the candidate. So thank you again. Look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.